So I wanted to take a few minutes with this video to talk about 4 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to cover for this video includes a big overhaul Sony is doing with indie developers, possibly the first major PlayStation 5 title to get the graphics boost tech, Horizon 2 hands-on, and Sony has an event dated soon that could bring PlayStation 5 news with it. First, yes or no, have you played Kena Bridge of Spirits or not? This relates to the indie story we're about to cover today, and I'm curious how many of you actually played the title. I personally played and enjoyed my time with Kena, but that's me, so comment below, yes or no, if you've played Kena Bridge of Spirits or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, the big overhaul with indie developers. Reading from IGN, back in July, a number of indie publishers publicly called out Sony for its apparent ongoing dismissal of the immense challenges facing small developers trying to publish games on PlayStation. While publicly Sony offered no official comment on these complaints at the time, it appears that the company was quietly listening after all, and has recently begun to take some action. Looking back at our conversations with these publishers at the time, a number of key issues were brought to light. Sony indie publishers and developers said had overly complex tools and forms, unclear processes, and poor communication with its indie partners when it came to getting answers, guidance, or overall issues resolved. They also expressed that while discoverability was an industry-wide issue, Sony was at best indifferent or at worst actively adversarial to these struggles, making PlayStation a very challenging platform for indie game sales. Looking at the fixes, first, there's reducing complexity, with Sony pledging, among other things, to improve communication channels, clarify who publishers should be taking concerns to, and making sure it's giving enough detail about its operations to its partners so they can make decisions. Second, Sony promised to give all its active publishing and developing partners access to better game sales, engagement, and promotion analytics, as well as improve discoverability. And finally, Sony says it will modernize its toolset and improve its ticketing systems, documentation, and customer service efforts for partner issues. So I remember these issues back then coming to light, which came down to some communication issues and getting noticed on the PlayStation Store. Those were the big ones. Sony has indie sales, indie showcases, backs indie titles like Kena Bridge of Spirits to a major degree. That was the studio's first game, and even has programs that nurture indie developers like the China Hero Project, which brought out of it one of my favorite games of the year with Fist. They also have Shuhei Yoshida, which is probably the most indie-loving exec you'll ever meet. So it was confusing for me to take this in, especially since this was an issue indie devs had with other major platforms as well. But I get it, Sony is the industry leader, and if something can be changed there, it can be changed elsewhere. Another example is the C-Bomb issue. This was an issue that both Xbox and PlayStation have, but Sony was put on blast for it, and after fixing the issue, we heard Xbox was looking into it. Similar to the mobile space with Apple. Once Apple does something, it trickles down across the industry. I'm all for it, honestly. Indie developers produce some of the most interesting titles out there, and if we can make their lives easier and allow them to get more games out, let's get that done. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Horizon 2 Forbidden West hands-on. So this is just a quick story with PlayStation Studios boss Hermen Hulst going to his old studio, Guerrilla Games, and hanging out with the game director of Horizon 2 Forbidden West, getting some hands-on time with the game. Hermen tweeted out this recently: some Horizon Forbidden West hands-on time with Guerrilla Games director. Hopefully, this means we're one step closer to the game going gold, and of course confirming and solidifying the actual release date of in February. Now, diving into the third story of the video, Sony has an event date soon that could bring some PlayStation 5 news with it. So Sony's Consumer Electronics Show is set to take place this upcoming January, more specifically the 4th of January. Now, these shows are mainly focused on electronics, new concepts of tech. Sony usually talks about their TVs among other electronics they have. Considering the last 2 years, PlayStation PlayStation 5 news could potentially be there. In 2020, we got the PlayStation 5 logo, which isn't exciting news really, but there was also a brief highlight on the PlayStation 5 and what it could do back then. In 2021, however, we got release dates for multiple titles at the show. Of course, later on, those dates changed, but that's most likely because of CV and obviously what's going on in the world and delay in titles, production, all of that. They're going to be back in January, and we'll see if we get any information in regards to PlayStation. Considering the last 2 years, it seems it's possible. Obviously, don't expect a big showing. However, we could get something small. But you guys let me know if you guys even watch CES or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the final story of the video, possibly the first major PlayStation 5 title to get graphics boost support. So, we've talked about FSR many times on the channel, and based on your comments, you guys enjoyed the coverage, which makes me happy, of course, because I like covering it. And as always, just a quick refresher on the tool for those who haven't been checking out each video or haven't even looked at the tool itself across the internet. FSR stands for Fidelity Effects Super Resolution. It's AMD's tool for enhancing visual quality while boosting frame rates. An example is, instead of running a game at native 4K 30, run the game at native 1440p and use FSR to upscale it to 4K, which then could boost performance to 60 frames per second or even higher. So FSR is supported on a lot of PC games at this point, and PS5 became the first console to get the first game to support the feature with Arcadegeddon not too long ago. I personally enjoyed Arcadegeddon, but it's not a major title. But Forspoken is. Forspoken was confirmed to have FSR support earlier this year before we saw the feature land on PlayStation 5. So this seemed to be a PC confirmation at the time, but now we know the PlayStation 5 does support FSR, and we have a game that supports it. And I think there's probably another game, another smaller game out there that supports FSR on PlayStation 5. We know that Forspoken will support the feature, but we haven't gotten an outright statement on it for PlayStation 5. I'm talking about this now because recently Forspoken got its options detailed, its performance and graphics options detailed. It'll have the standard 4K 30 option, performance 60 frames mode option, and apparently they'll also have a ray tracing mode, but no resolution details there. The performance mode will run at native 1440p 60 frames per second, which makes me wonder why FSR isn't mentioned here to boost quality to 4K. The ray tracing mode as well could get a nice boost using FSR. My question here is why it's not mentioned. Again, the PlayStation 5 does support FSR, and Forspoken has been confirmed to support FSR. So why are we not hearing the two together? Why we know the PS5 supports FSR, and we know Forspoken supports FSR, but we're not hearing that the PS5 and Forspoken on PlayStation 5 will get FSR support. Hopefully that gets cleared up before launch, which is in May of next year. But you guys let me know if you're interested in Forspoken or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Give me all the boosts." Obviously, this is in relation to the Forspoken story and FSR. So if you want more games to get the feature, destroy the comment section with "Give me all the boosts," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.